Conditioning Associates. I am driving to a house where I installed an 18 SEER Goodman a couple years ago. It is on YouTube. It's like a DSZC 18 5-ton unit. Well, the man that lives in the house is a little bit senile, and he has mistakenly called because the unit was frozen up one day. I think the top was blocked when it was raining outside, real cold, and sometimes the heat pump tops get blocked with ice. And it happened before. So he had accidentally called the company he used like 20 years ago to come look at it, and he said they disconnected it and said not to run it. So maybe they turned it off so it would thaw, is what I'm thinking, but I have no idea because he can't remember what happened. Luckily his daughters sort of are his link to me as far as communication, because he really, at this point, he can't really do any of that sort of thing. So we're gonna see if we can't figure out what's going on. I told him to put it in emergency heat till today. This was a couple days ago. So let's check it out and see what happened to the 18 SEER. Here is our 5-ton 18 SEER Goodman heat pump. It was frosted over, and if I look up, I can see that the soffit there, you can see some dripping, I'm sure, in the rain. It should land right about here. A lot of times you'll get icing across the top, and then it'll block the fan flow, and then when you come out, you'll see the sides are frozen up in between defrost cycles because it can't keep up because there's no airflow across the coil. So we're going to start things up, run it through a few cycles. I'm confident that it's fine, but you never know. Here's our old air handler. AVPTC air handler. That's our outside air, our bypass duct. So our zone panel and wireless receiver for our Honeywell stat upstairs. There's the upstairs zone, dampers open. Downstairs zone. It's got a little bit of tape coming off. A little bit sliding right there. Not too bad overall. It's been about just over 2 years since I did this. Everything looks pretty good. Let's check it out. As you guys can see, we have our gauge, our suction gauge on the true suction port because we're going to test heating. We have our high side gauge on the liquid line because it is a liquid line in heating and cooling. The only difference is the direction in which it flows. We have our communicating board here. It's used in a non-communicating format. And just like you have the Emerson Sure switch, that same technology is built into this, so you don't have a contactor. There's our capacitor, but as you see, there's no fan usage, and it comes like that from the factory because our fan is an ECM motor. It does not require a capacitor. So I'm gonna go turn it on. Right now we're looking at about 160, 165 pounds. So right on target with the temperature outside. So let's get her going. We're at first stage right now. Pretty quiet unit. Indoor unit delivers 1200 CFM in first stage. And we have our zone control here. We're getting 90 degrees. The EcoJ, I don't believe it'll give you heat strips unless it is below 88 degree discharge temperature for more than 8 minutes. So I believe it'll keep the heat strips out, which is a good thing. There's some of my LED code diagnostics for the homeowner because they said I'd like to know what the lights mean, which is fine. There's our damper LEDs. But I always like EcoJ, good panel. Our static pressure adjustment. There's our bypass damper. As you see, it is closed right now, which it should be with both stones calling. Guys, we've been running for about 10 minutes. We're sitting about 120 over 320, which is right almost smack dab where we're supposed to be according to the chart. We're looking at mid-50s out here today. Inside temperature is just over 60. So the refrigerant charge is good to go. The next thing I'll be doing is going onto this board. You can see back in there, you see that recall pin right there, and test. We'll be hitting those in a minute to initiate a defrost cycle. Make sure that's working properly. Test and defrost there. It'll switch in there momentarily, and then pretty much switch back instantaneously. Waiting for defrost. Just switch right back into heating because it's kind of warm outside, I guess. There's your change from first stage to second stage. Not too much of a difference in noise. More difference from the air handler. You can hear the air start kicking up in there. That's about all for this one. We're all happy, and we're gonna go home. Have a happy day.